Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, your favorite mystical person here on the internet with another astrology video. So today we're getting into 2025 a little bit more so. I'm talking about the nodes changing signs. So the North Node is going to be in Pisces in 2025. So it's definitely going to be bringing a different kind of vibe next year. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into this video. I do my best to try not to approach anything in extremes and be very neutral about things. But I will say with the North Node being in Pisces, this could be a little tricky, okay, as far as like the vibes that we're dealing with next year, because mutable energy is just very tricky energy to grasp. The South Node is going to be in Virgo. Virgo is the sign that has to do with work, okay? So I do see a lot of people working less next year. People will definitely be resigning and quitting or just working way less hours. That's because people are just burnt out. I don't know about y'all, but I feel burnt out, like for real burnt out. And to be honest, I feel like we've collectively been feeling like this. Like, as you can see over the past few years, like a lot of people just been really just changing their approach to their idea of like work and what it is that they do for work. Collectively, we need a break. We need another break. I don't want to say it's going to be like another 2020 where it's like, honestly, I felt like the whole world went on vacation. But what I will say is that a lot of people are going to just be prioritizing just their spiritual well-being. Pisces energy is very spiritual. It's very much so dealing with like the internal world, the subconscious, and you know, it's a sign in a general sense. It has to do with spiritual healing and things of that nature. With Jupiter being in Gemini still, even going into 2025, I do see a lot of people vacationing more or going on retreats. They go to like foreign countries and they just go take like a long pilgrimage kind of thing. And I feel like the collective is going to be going towards more of that, because this work life stuff is just a whole lot. Like, honestly, they got us working to the bone, especially with all this inflation and all of this stuff. Like, it's like we're just overworked and it's like it's tiring. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing about Virgo is like Virgo can work, okay? Virgo can literally work for hours and hours, and you know, this is a sign that's just known to be a busybody. I just feel like this is just kind of just where we've been at, where it's just like we're just all over the place. You know, we're just doing this, and overworking ourselves. And it's like we're getting to a point where we're like, F this. We don't want to do this anymore. So I feel like next year, just a lot less focus on working, okay? And more focus on just taking a break, healing, focusing on our spirituality, and really just going inward. If it's not like reducing the amount of hours that you work, I just feel like we're going to continue to find more ways to, yes, be productive and work and put in effort into things. I'm not saying like don't put in your effort or don't show up for the things that you have to. Finding better ways to work, you know, so it's really getting into the space of working smart and not hard, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, really getting creative. So I do see like a boost of creativity during this time, just getting into the flow of life, you know, just really just getting into the flow, you know, not trying to overly control things or just have things be a certain way, because that's very Virgo. Virgo wants things a certain way, you know, Virgo literally loves order. So I'm not gonna lie, like it just sounds to me with the North Node in Pisces, it just sounds like things are just gonna be very disorganized, very just out of order, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like in a way we kind of need that to a certain degree, because it's like everything is just so structured, everything is just so controlled in this society. We just want to like, you know, get outside the box a little bit more, you know, and I feel like we've already been doing that. The North Node in general, it just brings this theme of just wanting more, you know, just being hungry for more. You know, think of it as like a dragon's head. This is how they describe the North Node, as like the dragon's head. This is the part of the dragon where it's like it's just consuming, you know. So it's just like we're gonna want more of that Pisces energy. A lot of people are just honestly gonna be like more lazy, you know. Like Pisces energy, it could be pretty lazy. Pisces energy, it has to do with like rest or like sleeping, you know, sleep. So it's like I just feel like people are just not gonna have the energy for things. Like the way like society has been going, like people are just not gonna have the energy. There's just gonna be a lot of changes to our society where things are just gonna be completely different. And I wouldn't be surprised if like the North Node in Pisces puts everybody in a place where it's just a lot of like uncertainty. As we get more into the North Node in Pisces, I think people will start to catch on of just having more faith and tuning into your intuition and just going with the flow. Pisces highlights just the collective energy at large, the universe. So I just feel like there are a lot of deep, big changes within the universe that is just going on, that is very much so out of our control, that's really just going to direct us in a place of just tapping into that flow and just trusting the process, surrendering more. Like we're gonna be in this place of surrender. And I'm not saying like we have to be in a space completely where it's like we don't have the power or anything of that nature. We still do, and we are going to find that we're more proactive and talking more, because again, there's going to be more air sign energy in the air next year. So but just still being in this place where it's like we're surrendering to the process of like where our society is going. Not only do I believe like a lot of us are just gonna not work as much or work at all because we don't want to, but mainly I feel like the reasoning for it the most is because of the rise in technology. Like, so there's gonna be a more heavy emphasis on technology and the rise of AI, especially AI just taking over the jobs in the market. So a lot of people are going to be having a hard time finding work. With AI taking over, it's like we're getting pushed out and AI is just taking over the job. So, you know, that's also going to put us in a place where we're just going to get back to the natural way of how we've always been, you know, just getting back to the core of who we are, which is that we're spiritual beings, we're in tune with the universe, things of that nature. It's going to force us to do different kinds of jobs that are more new age, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, really doing more jobs that have to do with like holistic healing or spirituality. I do see a rise in the travel industry as well, but overall, we're just going to be forced to really get creative and tap back into our natural ways. So just be prepared for that. Jobs as we've been doing it, like, you know, like the traditional menial jobs, like that's going to be no longer a thing. Anybody that has been putting in a lot of time in like growing like a spiritual business and things of that nature, I do see that this North Node in Pisces is definitely going to be beneficial for you. AI is taking over everything, you know, and really we've kind of been seeing this over the years. Like literally, like you go to the grocery store, you go to self-checkout, like you don't even need like a cashier anymore. You know, you have the self-checkout. Phone lines, like you can't even get a hold of a human in customer service. Like it's some sort of automated robot talking to you, or, you know, there's self-driving cars, or, you know, things of that nature. Like there's just so much reliance on technology, and it's going to be even more prominent next year. It's really going to leave us with no option but doing something either related to technology, creativity, or like holistic healing, honestly. Like really the job market is really going to go down is what I do predict, and it's just really going to leave us having to figure it out. Yeah, so like that's just the type of time that they're going to be on. They're going to be like, oh, y'all don't want to work? Cool, then we're just going to put AI in there. We're going to replace y'all with technology. And it works for them because they don't have to invest too much into the AI, and then they don't have to worry about people complaining about pay, insurance, you know, all these other like 401k, like they don't have to worry about that if they're, you know, putting technology in replacement of us. I was talking to a friend of mine and he was like saying like next year we're going into some dark times, and I'm like, yeah, you know, after tapping into this North Node in Pisces, like I could see why he sees that, because yeah, for a lot of people who don't know how to deal with that kind of energy, there's no structure, everything's uncertain, you know, and we're just having to figure it out on our own. And, you know, a lot of the ways that we're used to is no longer. A lot of people are going to have a hard time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to fearmonger. With the North Node changing into Pisces, I just feel like our priorities are changing and our focus is more so incorporating more of the spiritual side of life into our everyday lives now. With Virgo, especially being on the South Node, Virgo is a sign that has to do with lifestyle. Okay, just what you do on a day-to-day, what's your routine. There are going to be a lot of us incorporating more spirituality in our daily routine and really just changing up our lifestyle. With Saturn being in Pisces, we're just going to be taking these things more serious, and even, you know, that brings more of an emphasis on what we're focused on next year, which is more of that Pisces energy, because Saturn is a planet that has to do with focus. Okay, but Saturn is also a planet that has to do with cutting away things. We can find that we're cutting away unhealthy habits or, you know, unhealthy addictions, whether it's like, you know, being a workaholic, which is very Virgo, or, you know, just perfectionism, things of that nature, just being too controlling, whatever the case may be, that doesn't allow you to just be, because that's literally the type of time that we're going to be on next year, is just in this space of just being and not trying to control things too much. We've gotten to this space where it's like everything is like a certain way and controlled, and that's fine to have a little bit of structure, because the North Node and the South Node, it's about balance, and basically it's showing that we've been out of balance, but still, you know, we can still borrow from the Virgo energy a little bit to, you know, have that balance of like, yes, we need a little bit of structure, a little bit of order, you know, so things don't get out of hand. Even though I'm not gonna lie, the energy of next year, it seems pretty wild, like very unpredictable. And, you know, especially because there's going to be more mutable sign energy. So I just wanted to put it out there that people who are just very earthy in nature, like, just get prepared for next year, because honestly, there's not going to be a lot of earth energy. Because when you think about it, Pluto's going back into Aquarius, Neptune is going to be in Aries, we got Uranus going into Gemini, of course the South Node being in Virgo, indicating like we're doing away with that Virgo energy, you know what I'm saying, like in the sense of like we're not focused on the Virgo energy. So there's not going to be a lot of earth energy next year, not unless of course we're in like a earth month. But really, all the heavy hitter planets, they're not going to be in earth signs. Next year is just going to be like a big wild card kind of vibe. So like I said, people who are very earthy in nature, just you're really just going to have to get with the program. Like you're just going to have to get with the program. People who really love structure and stability and things of that nature, some people's mental health is going to be coming into question with this North Node in Pisces, because a lot of people are not going to know what to do with the fact that there's just no structure in the world. Like everything just feels uncertain. Like people who are control freaks, they like to have control over what's going to happen and just feel secure. I don't know, like, you know, some people ain't going to be doing all right next year. Some people are going to go crazy because they're going to be like, what the hell is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is really going on here? Like, what is life? You know, the North Node in Pisces, it could highlight issues with mental health as a result of the society that we have been living in, but also highlighting mental health as a result of what's going on in the world currently. Last thing that I wanted to point out with 2025 is it's going to be a number 9 year. So number 9 is the number of completion, and also Pisces is a sign that has to do with closure, endings, and completion as well. So there's going to be a lot of cycles closing out. Okay, a lot of things just coming to a close. A lot of situations where we're going to have to let go of like what it is that we know. So life as we know it, society as we know it, we're just going to have to surrender, like I was saying earlier, and let it go. Like quite literally, because it's just coming to an end where it's just like life, the way we've been doing life is just not working anymore. You know, it's just not, it's not efficient. We're just going into a space where things are just more fluid, okay? And, you know, anything could go. So that's also the thing with, you know, the North Node. I know a lot of people like to highlight good things, but there are going to be those few things about the North Node next year that could kind of be a little bad, in the sense of like, again, like this energy of like confusion, or just like we don't know what the hell is going on. And it's like after a while we're just gonna have to get with the program and just flow with it. This vibe of just like anything could go, because Pisces is a sign that has no boundaries. Okay, there's no structure, so it's just gonna feel like everything's all over the place, and we're just gonna have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna have to work together, come together in community. So this is good that we have air sign energy, to where we're going to be talking to each other. We're going to be grouping up together and just coming up with new plans, new ideas, getting creative on how to make things work for us in this new era that we're in. 2025, the energy is just going to be very different. Things are just going to be very different. It's going to feel very different, and we just have to work together. We got to work together to kind of keep it together, okay? What's going to save us is being in tune with spirituality, okay? Increasing our faith, whatever that looks like to you. But I just feel like it's going to be more so on the side of spirituality, as far as like metaphysics and mysticism and all these things. Like that is going to be our saving grace. Ironically, it's going to give us a sense of grounding in a time where things are very ungrounded, very uncertain, very, very unpredictable. I just see with the North Node in Pisces, a lot more spiritual awakenings are happening. A lot more people are going to be awakening into their spirituality and just tuning into the more mystical side of life. And I just feel like overall, next year is just going to be a very magical and mystical time. That's all I have for this video. So I hope you guys found this insightful. I hope you guys enjoyed this little sneak peek into 2025. Let me know in the comments below what you think about 2025, how you're feeling, what you think is going to happen. If you guys have any other questions or comments, leave it down below as well. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.